When you think of Roblox, what games come to mind? Maybe it's those really popular games like Welcome to Bloxburg or Arsenal. Maybe it's some classics like Super Speedrun 4 or Work at a Pizza Place. Or maybe even start an emo band from your Garage Tycoon. Now all of these sound fun and good, but today we're looking into the genre of fashion games. Dress to Impress, Fashion Famous, among many others, are pretty much exactly what you'd expect. Wait, what is that? Fashion Diva. So this is Fashion Diva. Now before I do get into the interesting stuff, let's just approach this as if we were a regular Roblox player. Maybe we just wanted to check out some fashion shows. Then we stumble across Fashion Diva. Seems innocent enough. We hop in, you see, wow, there's actually a lot of people here. On the surface it just looks like a pretty standard fashion show game. Game passes, of course, that you can buy. Faces you can choose. Skin color changes. A lot of customization that should be normal for any game like this. Although I will like to mention that there is an empty spot here, which we'll get into sometime later. And if we go out here, there is a bunch of houses, and all of them contain, of course, more clothing items. What the? Well, that was a good show. So that was fun and all, but keep in mind that this game really started spreading around on TikTok of all places, all because of one singular question you can put in the chat. There were rumors about this game spreading around on TikTok where if you go to the chat and type in this phrase, "Are there any bots?" and something happens. We got a flashlight, and from the looks of it, it looks like we're in the same game, but obviously this is a real departure of what we just saw. There's this face all over the walls. And it's just really dark. And you don't know what to do, really. Yeah, and it's really, really loud. And I can, okay. God, I literally have to take off my headset because it's so loud. I have my game volume. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I am spamming escape right now, and I can't get out. I can't get out. I can't do anything. I can't open the chat. Nothing. You're stuck staring at this one face. And the only way to stop on PC, at least, is to open up Task Manager and Task. And there you go. It's gone. If you were on mobile, like if you were on your phone or tablet, you would have to actually exit the entire application altogether. So yeah, that was pretty weird, to say the least. But let's hop into it, because a majority of the TikTok viewership was just like, oh, it's just this silly jump scare, haha, haha, hee, that's funny, epic prank. I love pranking children and making them scarred for life. But no, we're not done, because if we go back to this game, and then you look into it a bit more, you notice here in the description, some things look off. There are a couple of letters that are capitalized. Now, I have a notepad right here that I'm going to be bringing up many times, but let's just type out what this description says. If we were to type in all the letters that were capitalized, ISTHISWORKING. All right, so we already got some words. Is this working? CANYOUHEARME. Can you hear me? So we got right here in this description The hidden message, is this working? Can you hear me? Which, raises some questions. One thing I would like to mention is that the server size is 8. But obviously from what we just saw, there was way more than 8 people in that server. So the question, are there any bots, is pretty much answered. And this description is not the only place where there are hidden messages, where if we go to the developer, Clean Mean Beans, there it is again. It's that same face, or at least just the eyes and lips of it. And if we read the description of this group, we got, welcome to Clean Mean Beans, where fun and entertainment meet creativity and camaraderie. And here we already see that same thing here. There's some hidden message. We're gonna go through this process once again. THEREAREBOTSEHELPUS. And this message reads, there are bots. Help us. So clearly the narrative here so far is some entity, some person, or maybe a collective of people, hence the us, that are trapped and in need of help. Something like that. One thing I should mention is that when you do get jump scared back there, you would get a badge, right? And in this badge, Fashion Diva icon, same deal. There's another message here. GATEWAY. Gateway. Now just having the word gateway doesn't really tell us too much. So we'll come back to this. So let us hop back in. So yeah, I'm not going through that again. So obviously, going back into the game with the knowledge we have is a little bit more unsettling. And yeah, since I did mention before that there was only a server size of 8 people, it seems that's why there's only 8 contestants up here. Because the rest of the people down there are the bots. Get me out! Get me out! God, and the game is really good at like tricking you on the surface level into thinking it's legit, because besides all the creepy stuff, it is a really well put together game that could be enjoyable. It could be enjoyable for kids. But yeah, with the knowledge we have now, it's time to look for secrets. Now there really aren't any secrets right now, but they'll show up eventually, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, this is taking a little longer than usual. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Am I going crazy here? Because I swear, stuff was supposed to start happening. Well, since it hasn't happened yet, I will mention one thing. There is a small chance that one of the bots in the server will say like a really long rambling message, constantly repeating the words like on the roof, on the roof, on the roof, or like it's on the roof, or something similar. So once you see that message, naturally we'll go up to the roof. So we go down here in the roof and this is a secret room, and here we are, and it's the missing face from down there. I need a gateway. It's the missing face from down there as well as the same face that we've seen before. And we click on it. Spooky. Okay, has it happened? Oh, here we go. It happened. I don't know if it was because we did the roof secret or if we just waited around long enough, but messages will start appearing. They promised me so much. I was so young. Now I'm gonna keep tabs of these. And of course there's more messages over here too. I tried to teleport out. Didn't work as well. And we got some messages here. He keeps deleting my messages. I'm trying to find a way to communicate. I'm trapped. Please help. Please help me. I see everything. I am everything. He's coming. I need to find a better way to hide these. That's a lot to take in. So those are the messages inside this building, but there is one more all the way back here. 128:43:85. Gonna write that down for later. So, yeah, funny thing, Right after I jotted down those numbers, I bumped into my mic and muted it by accident, thus losing an hour of commentary that I recorded. So, instead for the rest of this video, I'll be commentating over the footage, okay? Okay. So now that we discovered all the messages inside the building, there are still more messages to be found. Not in the other buildings outside, but rather the mountains outside of the map. The first one we come across reads as follows. I am the trails, I am the textures, I am the trees, I am the blocks, I am the text, I am the bots, I am stuck saying the same thing. After being forced into another runway show, we then head out to find our next message. Trust me, we aren't that different. I have a conscience. Not too far from that one, there's another. Would you be mad if I could switch our lives? Probably. The next one is pretty simple. Do you think you can help me out of here? Another mandatory show later, we come across the next message. I am everyone, and everyone is me. But I'm not you? Getting a little existential here. And as far as this game goes, that is all the hidden messages that I could find. I know, I made sure to double check all the buildings. Now that we have all the messages, you would think that we have reached the end of the tunnel, but that cannot be further from the truth, as the developer Clean Mean Beans still have a couple more games under their belt that we need to dive into. Those being Clean's Runway and Avatar Editor, and Daycare. By the way, just ignore Paddle Battles. As far as we know, that game isn't connected to Fashion Diva at all. Going into Clean's Runway, what is immediately noticeable is that the layout is pretty much identical to Fashion Diva, except the runway itself is different, and the biggest change being that the outside houses are replaced by a warehouse of random clothing and accessories. Judging by the looks of it, this experience could just be an older version of Fashion Diva. Amongst the aisles and aisles of accessories lies this advertisement on the wall. Seeking child fashion models. Think you have what it takes to slay the runway? We hope so. We are seeking charismatic young stars to walk our runways and serve stunning looks. Interested? Contact us at... Interacting with the advertisement in-game has some text appear at the bottom, reading, "This looks interesting. I should give them a call." The last game we need to explore is Daycare, and looking at the game's banner... You sneaky fucker. Now, for some godforsaken reason, this game out of all the related games has the most player activity by far. Most people who hop on Fashion Diva hear about the secret jump scare, get jump scared, and are finished. It's a one and done. But with Daycare, something about it has people constantly coming back and playing it regularly. Regardless, this game is pretty important to the Fashion Diva mystery. Despite it being called Daycare, the only two roles here are scientist and patient. Now, it took me a long time to become a scientist because you need to be one in order to progress the story. Finally becoming a scientist, I mean caregiver, I go over and grab a patient, I mean child, and bring them over to the testing chambers, where you can experiment with different toxin colors and intensities to inflict different effects on the test subjects. Now, this is where those numbers a while back come into play. By inputting the same numbers into the toxin color selection, selecting the intensity to the max, and pressing the green button, gas starts spewing into the chamber, and it doesn't take long before the oh-so-willing volunteer starts to say, "I'm a fashion icon." Not only do they start saying this phrase, but they also start to move on their own, without control from the player themselves. Even though we have played all the relevant games, there's still one thing left to do. If we go back to Fashion Diva, ask if there's any bots, and go back into the dark world, looking around more carefully, you'll realize that this world isn't Fashion Diva. It's Clean's Runway. And remember that advertisement from before? Well, if you remember where it was, and then go directly to it in the dark world fast enough, it changed. Simply repeating the words, "Contact us at." Standing at the ad for a brief moment, we'll be teleported to the last secret instance. Survey.
Welcome. I see you have taken interest in our project. We're glad to see you here. Before we begin, we would like to know about you.
I'm ready.
have a family?
No.
Friends, at least?
Not one.
Do you have anyone you can contact?
Sadly, no.
Are you a child?
Yup.
That's amazing. How does it feel being so youthful?
Feels pretty great. Haha.
Are you excited for this opportunity?
Absolutely.
Great to hear. Smile. Seems like you fit all of our qualifications. You're pretty special. All right. Meet us at... Welcome, welcome. It is okay. Everyone feels nervous on the first day. Here.
It all comes full circle. You dug too deep. You poked your nose into something you shouldn't have. You have become a bot, stuck, powerless, and forced to roam Fashion Diva without a purpose, forever. And no one can hear you scream.